If you're an entrepreneur looking to start your business and you want to get funding because you don't have money or you want to be smart about it and use other people's money, then you're in the right spot. My name is Justin Saunders, and I started my entrepreneur journey and built multiple seven-figure businesses when I started with $40 in my name using credit cards to start and scale my businesses. Just pull up my screen and share with you a funding doc that you can use right as you go through this video to go out there and apply for credit cards and get funding for your business right away. But first, before we do that, let's talk about good debt versus bad debt, because there's a big misconception in the space, especially growing up, where credit cards and debt is a bad thing, which, to be honest with you, is total BS. And I'll explain why. So let's just take a step back and understand what good debt is. Good debt has the potential to increase your net worth, enhance your life, and ultimately just make your life a whole lot easier. Whereas bad debt involves borrowing money to purchase things that are decreasing in value only for the purpose of consumption. So let's just kind of break this down. Good debt is when you are using other people's money to go out there and invest in a skill set, invest in a business, something that's going to get a positive return for you, maybe not right at this second, but in the future. Whereas bad debt is where you're just going out there and just buying things that depreciate in value. For example, getting a credit card and going on a shopping spree. That is bad debt. Good debt is getting a credit card, investing it into a coach, a mentor, or a new business idea that produces you cash flow down the road and something that you can start stacking on as you get better with it. So there's really two sides with this, and it just really depends on where you're at and where you kind of fall on the scale. Most of the conversations that we have with people are when they're just getting started with their business. If you're new to the channel, I teach people how to start and scale social media marketing agencies. So we have a lot of conversations with people that are either leaving 9-to-5s, maybe they're already running a social media marketing agency and they're looking to scale. But most of those conversations we have with people when it comes to financing are the ones that are just kind of getting started and don't have much. So if you are somebody that's just getting started, you're going to want to look at personal credit before you go into business, because you got to build up your personal in order to start stacking up your business credit. And a lot of it just really depends on where you're at financially. If you're working a 9-to-5 and you have consistent pay stubs, that's definitely going to better the process and help you get better funding. A lot of it also has to do with your credit score as well. So before we even jump into like the tactics on how to do this, I want you to know that if you are having bad credit, report on your score right now. I just want you to know that if you do have bad credit, it's not the end of the world. You can always get it fixed. But the best first step you can do before anything is start improving that right away. And things that you can do to increase your credit score, which are a lot simpler than you think, are just paying down your high balances. Credit scores look at the total utilization as a big key factor in determining what your actual score is. So if your score is low right now and you only have one credit card and it's maxed out, try paying that down and then see where it goes from there. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other things that go into play with this, like late payments, things like that, which we'll cover here in a second. But just know, like, as you start building your credit, the best way is just to commit to the future, regardless where you're at now, because at the end of the day, we all start somewhere. So let's just cover real quick things not to do. Make sure that you never have late payments. This is the number one thing. A lot of people, they'll get a credit card and then completely forget to pay it off or blame some random circumstance. And at the end of the day, people on the other side of the credit, like the people that you call and complain to, they don't care. Most of them live in a third world country and they just get paid less than $5 an hour to hop on these calls and then fix small things. So they don't care about your issues. I don't care about your issues. Nobody cares about your issues. If that sounds harming to you or upsetting, like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to tell you it straight, because that's the world we live in. And the reason I need to tell you that is because that's how credit works. They don't care about excuses. So biggest advice is when you get a credit card, you can do two things. One, update it so all of your credit cards report on the same day and you can pay the bill at the same time. Or two, put it on auto pay. Every single card that I have right now is on auto pay, and I never miss late payments because they're on auto pay. So highly suggest you have how to auto pay on. It'll make your life a lot easier. The next thing is to find out what your actual score is. Because to be honest with you guys, most of these scores that you go out there, like Credit Karma and things like that, they're not totally accurate. You got to find a base on where you're at. What I recommend is going to myfico.com. I've been using that for the past 2 to 3 years, and it's the most accurate I have found on the site to be reporting on what your actual score is. And if you go in there, depending on the plan you get, it'll actually show you which type of reporting you have, any late fees, all of your cards, literally a complete file of everything that you have. So to sum this all up, just don't be dumb with your credit. Don't get credit cards to go out there and then go on a shopping spree and then buy a bunch of stuff that's not going to provide you any value. If you're going to go through this video and actually listen to what I say here, I highly recommend that you invest it into either your own business or a coach, a mentor to help you increase your value in the marketplace so you can make more money, or just invest it into some other asset, maybe even Bitcoin, real estate, whatever it is. I'm not here to give financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just here to show you ways that you can get funding. And more importantly, let's just jump into my screen and I'll walk you through it. All right, welcome to our funding doc here. You guys, it's time to get resourceful. In this document, I'm going to share with you the step-by-step on what you can do to go out there and get the funding. We're going to start a little bit more broad here. At first, we'll be a little bit more beginner friendly. And then at the end of this video, it's going to be a little bit more advanced. Now, regardless of where you're at, highly suggest you watch all this because some of this might be new to you and get you some creative ways of going out there to get funding. So before we even jump into this, I do want to say, if you are going to be getting funding, make sure you know what you are going to be getting the funding for. Don't just get funds to have in your bank account to sit there. That's dumb, especially with inflation coming in play. Make sure you're smart with what you want to do with this. Highly suggest that you invest it into a mentor or put it into your business to scale or have some sort of asset that's going to be bringing you money back as you go through this. Chances are, if you're probably watching this, you might be interested in one of our programs. And if you are, this is a perfect fit. So with that being said, let's go through it. You guys, number one, people overlook this all the time. Start with friends and family members. It's the easiest way and they make the best investors if you do it with the right terms. So all you got to do is come up with a list and reach out and ask them to borrow money. Now, before you just do that, you want to be a little bit strategic about this. Let them know, again, negotiate. If you can just get the money without paying any interest, that's awesome. Say, hey, I need whatever X amount that you need, and then go borrow it. But what I would suggest to do is go to them and say, hey, I am looking to invest this money into a mentor and I need X amount in return, because they have all these case studies and all this stuff, all these proven results. And I know I'm going to do everything and put my heart and soul into this. If you give me $5,000, I will give you 10% back and pay off the entire thing in 12 months. So realistically, you give me $5,000, you're going to make an additional $500 just for lending that out to me. And I'm going to pay it all back within 12 months or 6 months, whatever the terms are. Do the math to figure out what it is that you'd pay monthly, however it is that you'd figure that out. That's the way that I would go about this with investing with friends or parents. Number two, apply for credit cards. This is, again, what I talked about at the beginning of this video, like the most underutilized feature a lot of people just don't do because they think debt is a bad thing, when in reality, if you use it the right way, it can be a very smart and good thing. So first things first, check to see if you're pre-approved for any specific cards. You can go and just go on Google and type in pre-approved cards like this. And what you'll see is there'll be a bunch of these where you can just go and check, like Capital One, you go see a pre-approved, American Express, Discover. I'll give you some actual cards here in a second, but just know if you do a pre-approval, it doesn't hurt your credit card. It doesn't hurt your score. It basically just lets you know, be like, hey, based off your factors, you are pre-approved. And chances are, if you're pre-approved, you have a higher chance of actually getting approved. So what I would highly suggest to do, you guys, is just take some time and do some research. It really doesn't take that much. Here's a video right here that I created on how to actually do research on finding the right type of credit cards. And what I'll do is, as we go through this video, if I get 50 comments on this video, I'll reply to each comment and send you this actual script or this actual document. So you can come in here and click this and watch like the videos and use the links. I think that'd honestly be best. I wasn't really planning that, but as I'm going through here, I think that'd be easier for you guys. Is do some research, and then go for 0% APR. Again, depending on what your goal is, if you just need money, I would highly suggest you do 0% APR, because that means you're going to be paying the bare minimum over an X amount of time and not being charged interest on it. Whereas if you go with some other cards that have a higher APR, which I believe on average is about 14% over a year, you're going to be paying more money on that. See how like after 15 months, it's 14%. So realistically, if you applied for the Capital One Quick Silver card, you'd pay 0% for 15 months. That means if they gave you a $10,000 limit, you could spend all $10,000 of that on your business and not have to pay that $10,000 back until 15 months. So you're just using that money to really just scale your business. And here's, you guys can go to this site. It's actually called wallethub.com/credit cards, 0% APR. You can honestly just Google 0% APR and they'll give you a bunch of cards. Now, before you go out there and apply right away, watch the rest of this video because I'm going to share with you some strategies and good cards to go after. But again, I would highly suggest you go after 0% right away. And then from there, depending on where you're at, I can create another video on the best cards for like your particular business. We coach a lot of social media marketing agency owners. So if you are in the agency space or even considering it, just know you can definitely be flying for free for your entire life utilizing this business method. So if you can follow me, I honestly have not paid a flight for over like 4 years now. So pretty cool stuff. Can definitely put a video out on that, but this video is more of the funding aspect. So here are the best cards to apply for if you have bad credit. Bad credit, Discover. Highly suggest that'd be the first one anyone really applies for. If you don't have the Discover It card, go for that. Bank of America cashback is a good one as well. These are all secured. So just know that. Bad or no credit, Open Sky, Platinum Visa, and then the Capital One. So I would say, and one of the ones that a lot of our clients have seen the best results with is the Discover card. And then the Chase, I believe it's unlimited, the Chase Freedom. It's one of the Chase 0% ones. Let me see if I can go through here. They've also had good success with Capital One. It wasn't that one, but Discover It for sure. I think these are some good ones. I mean, this is a very legit site. Wallet Hub, it walks you through like, so if you wanted to, credit scores anywhere from 300 to 639. Chances are if you're below a 600, it's going to be hard to get approved. So get your score up. Obviously, the better score you have, the better it is. If you're wondering what a good and bad score is, anything over a 700 is typically considered good. Anything over like a 730, 740 is like great. And then anything under, 700, it's kind of like bad and it kind of goes down to there. But if that's where you're at, don't worry. Like you can only get better. Best cards to apply for with fair credit. Capital One Platinum card, Visa card with cash rewards. It's going to go through here. You guys can see it. They update this pretty consistently. So depending on, I would just see like literally a couple days ago, November 8th, 2021. So like, that's why I'm creating this video. I'm not going to give you exact cards right now because they change. And I would say like, go to these sites like NerdWallet and do some research because that's ultimately how you're going to find and how this video is going to stay relevant for years to come. So depending on where you're at with that, I mean, again, it really just depends on the time of the year, where your credit's at. I would just do research. And again, if you want this doc and watch this video on how to do credit research, comment down below. For 50 comments, we actually hit 80 comments on my last video in the first week. So if you guys just hit 50 on here, I'll give you this doc so you can all go out there and get some funding. Number 3, what you can do is raise your current credit limits. Now, this is important. Actually, let me go back real quick on here. If you're going to apply, I would suggest what we call stacking. Apply for 3 to 4 cards at a time within the same time period. Like, don't apply for one card today, one card a week from now, and another card a week from now. That'll hurt your credit. Whereas if you apply for all of them right here, right now, again, watch the rest of this video first. What happens is the bureaus try to communicate with each other, and if it's all happening at the same time, they can't. Capital One can't be like, oh, he applied for me, and then Discover goes, oh, he applied for, like, it's TransUnion, Equifax, but like, point being is they can't communicate like that. So if you're going to do it all right now, because it usually is about 24 hours before they report. So it's just a little hack is when you apply for this, apply for like 3 or 4 at a time. Raise your current credit limits is number 3. You can call and ask for an increase. Be prepared if you're going to do this, that you actually ask them, be like, hey, is this going to be a hard pull on my credit? Because a hard pull on your credit dings your credit and lowers your score. When you apply for a card, it dings your score. So like, be careful with what you do. If you're going to be doing like hard credit, like, it happens, hard pull happens, like it's supposed to happen, but you want to be strategic with how you do it. So just know, if you're going to do that, ask if it's going to be a soft pull or a hard pull. If it's soft, you're good. If it's hard, you might want to reevaluate, asking them to do it. Most credit cards won't give you a hard inquiry when asking for an increase, but just make sure to ask first. Just said that. In order to get your credit increase, start maxing out your credit cards and paying off the full balance. This is a little hack that I found is, and again, don't just max them out if you don't have money to pay them back. But like, if you're running a business or you do have the funds, what I found is if you have let's say you have a $10,000 credit limit, right? If you spent $10,000 and each month you had to keep spending it until, like, Bank of America, let's say, for example, would deny your card charges after 10,000, like, they'll eventually start like giving you a little bit more money to spend with on there. So let's say month 1, you spent $10,000, paid it all off in full. Month 2, you maxed out the $10,000 in the first 2 weeks, and then you had to come back and then they let you spend an extra $2,000. Well, now you're up to 12,000, and then you paid off the $12,000 in full. Month 3, you come back, you start maxing out again. They give you up to 15,000 before they stop, and then you pay that, and eventually, like, they start increasing it for you because they see that you have money to play with, and that's ultimately what they want to look at. That's a little bit too advanced for you. Don't worry about it right now, but just know that's a little hack that you can go out there and increase your actual credit limits. Number 4, get added as an authorized user. And this could honestly be number 1. If you have bad credit or zero credit, get added as an authorized user. Find a family member that you can be added as an authorized user on their score, or a friend. Now, before you do this, you want to look for someone that has good credit and good age. You don't want to become an authorized user on someone that has a lot of late payments or has a bad credit score. You want to make sure that you're going after somebody that has good credit so you can be added on their credit report. So for example, if you get added as an authorized user on your mom's Discover card and she's been using Discover credit card for 20 years with 0 late payments, well, that's going to show up on your credit score saying like you're good. And then you'll have a much higher chance of getting approved if you wanted to go with Discover, or I would suggest whatever card that they're using, like that same company, like Amex, Chase, you know what I'm saying? So you only need to be one card to be added here. Just kind of talked about that. Again, use my FICO to figure out what your actual score is. Number 5, apply for PayPal credit. This is probably one of the easiest things. If you have really bad credit or just never had any credit, chances are you'll get approved for PayPal credit. No income verification, which is cool. It's an easy application process. You can get approved between $2,000 and $6,000 instantly. Honestly, sometimes it's even faster than that. Or even more than that. I've seen some people get approved for 10,000 plus. So just really depends on what their actual special is. Again, this is subject to change. Last I checked, I thought it was 12 months, but it could be 6. Just go do your research when you're watching this video. But chances are they usually have no interest or fees that you can get approved with. And this is really good if you have lower than a 600 credit score. Although you should apply no matter what, because we've seen literally all kinds of different credit scores get approved. So whatever it is. And then also, if you need to get creative with this, and you have a spouse or partner and you can't get approved, but their score is a little bit better, you could use all of this process to get them to get some credit as well. And like, again, it just kind of depends on your situation, on where you're at. But, you could go out there and have a family member or your spouse or whatever help you out with getting funding if you need to, again, depending on how you negotiate your terms. These ones I'm going to go through a little bit more fast because you can go do some research on it, but these are like the main ones for getting started. Square Installments is good. It's a program that allows you to make small payments over 6, 9, or 12 months to Square. It's a great program. You go to square.com. Flexbuy, they're a lending partner. They have high approval rates. Flexbuy.com. This is more of like a loan type thing. So depending on where you're at, I would go check it out. Applying does not affect your credit score. Funding is fast. Usually 2 days max is what we've seen. Sometimes a little bit faster. Income is required. So if you work a 9 to 5 or you have pay stubs, then this will work. Again, just depends on where you're at. If you don't get approved the first time, you could go again and try your spouse or partner or whoever, a cosigner, whatever it is, but they do require income, which a lot of the other ones on these will. You could go sell some stuff on Craigslist or eBay. Like, you guys, get creative. If you don't have money, that is 100% your fault and your lame excuse. I hate that excuse is, oh, I don't have any money. Well, what do you want the world to do? Just rain magic $100 bills come down and you just collect the money? Be kind of cool if that happened, but it doesn't happen like that. So be realistic. Like, go sell some shit online. Like, it's simple. Like, go out there. I used to literally, my income in 6th grade was I would flip cell phones. Like, when I first got my phone, I loved it for about a month and then hated it. And I sold it and I made money off of it. And I was like, wow. So I started buying more phones and selling them. So get creative. There's so many things you can do. If you have any old designer things like Gucci, Fendi, Prada, whatever it is, anything old that's worth money, or not even old, but just nice, sell it. Like, start your business. You can buy tens of those once you start making more money. PlayStation, Xbox, camera equipment, phones, laptops. Get creative with it. The biggest excuse in the library is I don't have money, and that's the poorest excuse. As long as you keep telling yourself that, you never will have money. So get creative. Old family stuff they don't want anymore. You could literally go to your family and say, hey, what type of stuff don't you want? Okay, I'm going to sell it all. Give me a percentage, and then go sell it. You could honestly even start a GoFundMe and have people fund you for your business idea. Like, honestly, I know I'm laughing a little bit here, but like, I've seen this happen plenty of times where people say, hey, I want to start a new business, but I don't have any money. I'm poor. I'm in college and blah, 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 blah. A bunch of excuses. They put a GoFundMe and it works. Like, who cares? Like, go give it a shot. Like, anything you can do to get money. Turo, rent out your car. Uber, start driving. Amazon, go deliver to Amazon. Upwork or Fiverr, watch my videos. Literally just watch my videos, build your skill set, and then go to Upwork and Fiverr and make some money, stack it up, then come back to me and we'll help you advance that. Like, you don't want to do this long term, obviously, because you can make 10x more money for it, but do something to get like some actual like scores. You know what I'm saying? It like actually ways to build up your funds. Like, that's really what it comes down to. So I did put bonus in here. This is a sheet that we give out to like a lot of people that go through our program that want to get funding. And we do have some financial investment partners. So if you are interested in anything we have to offer at any point, just know you can always book a call with us and we can talk more in detail about what it looks like and how those financing options work. It's just basically like a lending partner that we have a good relationship with. But you guys, I would go through here and just get started with this. I mean, at the end of the day, the excuse of not having any money is just a lie. It's a myth. And if you keep telling yourself that, then you never will. So get creative with it. There are so many ways to get money out in this world. And I just shared with you a bunch on there. So if you guys want this sheet, comment your main takeaway on here and then put it like a hashtag sheet. And if we get 50 of those, I will give you guys this exact funding document. So you can go out there and use the links, go apply for the stuff and learn how to do the research yourself. But ultimately, I wanted to come on here and just share this video with you because more importantly, educate everybody on like debt is not a bad thing if you use it the right way. I know it's one of those things where I myself was taught growing up, like credit's a bad idea. Don't get credit cards. Don't do this. Don't do this. And like, I've learned over the years of me running my own business that I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't have credit. So it's huge. We all start somewhere. Get at it. Hope you found value in this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe down below. We post twice every single week on ideas, things like this to help grow your business. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.